All right, so our weekend in the cabin is over. I think I ate a lot, slept in a bed for a few nights. Time to get back to it. We get to start off going up these steps again. This is where I sat, tried to call a shuttle and realized that I had to go back down the stairs a few days ago. Now there's 5.5 miles of up. After eating a big dinner at Cracker Barrel, I'm gonna be slow. Coming up from there. About 2.5 miles out of the 5 miles up done. Too long in town, my legs forgot how to do this. Drink a liter of water and have over half a liter of water to carry with me as I go up. So it's getting close to 6 o'clock and I'm just moving slow today. So saw this spot and I don't know if you can see it, but for some reason there's a lot of flies around this campsite. So I don't know why the flies are congregated there. I'm going to keep on going. On the topo map, looks like there's a spot that might be a little bit flat, about 4/10 of a mile ahead. So I'm going to go up there, see if I can find a good spot to camp. Then I'm going to lay down, see if my legs feel a little bit stronger tomorrow. But came from down there, going around, and up there. Snowbird Peak. They have one of these. Sounds serious. I'll just leave that alone. See a trail that ATVs can come up. And it's kind of hazy, but there is a view out there. Decided not to cut it short today. There's only a couple more miles to an established tent site, so figure 2 more miles going slow is better than saving 2 miles for the next day. Haven't gone far. Decent spot to camp here. I think I'm still going to go a little over a half mile farther. It says there's a little bit of down, a little bit of up, so I'm guessing I'm going to be right over there. So I got over to where I wanted to get. There's a unofficial campsite, but it is established. Oh, crap. And there's Nug's butt. But whenever I was thinking about stopping early, wanted to let Nugs know because I told him, hike fast, go far. And I told him I was going to stop, and he said, oh, there's nobody else here. Pretty good looking camp spot. There's the other side of them. So, Nugs has a new tent. I like it. I might end up with one like it if my camo tent doesn't last. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to set up my tent. I might just lay down the Tyvek tonight. But time to get something to eat. There we go.
Taking night pictures, eh?
Yeah. There's Nug's new mansion. Very nice. This is where I'm gonna sleep. And oh, it's late. It's like 8:30. So we're ready to go to bed. Camp is broke. We're getting started a little bit earlier than normal, but we could have gotten started even earlier. My sleeping bag just felt way too good this morning. We're gonna have a couple miles of down, a couple miles of up, but no 5-mile stretch of uphill like last time. So hoping for better miles today. Came from down there. I think there's a shelter around here somewhere. Ah, here we go. Gonna take a little break. 2 miles down. It was downhill. Didn't do awesome time, but my knees aren't hurting. Feeling pretty good. Groundhog Creek shelter. There's Groundhog Creek. Stop in for a quick visit and then we'll get back to the trail. Coming down this way. Going up and around. Okay, 2 miles of uphill done. Gonna have a half-mile of down. It's a warm day. Knees feel fine. I'm pretty excited. I'm not going fast, but I'm not hurting. That half-mile of downhill went by really fast. I think there's a spring over here, so I'm going to go get some water, start heading uphill again. That's the road, and here's a spring. This next mile is going to have 800 foot of elevation gain, so I already know it's going to be slow, so I'm just going to take my time. Now just a little bit of downhill before I start going back up. Came down. Gonna go up. Have little bits of up and little bits of down for the next peak that I go over. And then I'm going to have about 5.5 miles of mostly down. Looking forward to it. 3/10 of a mile, 150 foot of uphill. Looks like we're going to get most of it done right here. Not to the top yet, just another side. All right, 5.5 miles of mostly downhill. Got a little water, ready to get going. Came from there. This is Roaring Fork Shelter. Looks nice. It's 2 in the afternoon, so I'm not going to stop yet. But try to come down and see what it looked like. But trail's up there. I'm going to take a minute for a break and then I'll get back going. I'm like 2 miles out of my 5.5 of downhill done. Came from up there, going around over there. Gonna go up there and up like that. Just a good spot for a break. Continuing on over there. All right, my 5.5 miles of mostly down is over. Time for some uphill. Start thinking about where I want to sleep tonight. So I might stop here, or I might, I don't think I'm going to go that far. I'll find something. Quarter mile from Walnut Mountain Shelter. I came up from that way. Looks like this area is going to be covered with blackberries. And I think I'm just going to kind of go up and over this hump, and the shelter will be right on the other side. There's Walnut Mountain Shelter. It's getting kind of crowded, so I'm going to go down, try Kale Gap. It's like 5 o'clock, so it's still early. There was a water source here, but they said it was quite a hike. And I see some on the map, but they're not on the guide, so hopefully I can find some water before I make camp, or shortly thereafter. So the trail runs down right there. This is Kale Gap. On the map, it looks like there's water about a quarter mile down this path over here. So I'm going to go get some water, come back and think about making camp. I would say I'm not even a quarter mile from the gap where I found this stream. So grabbed about 2.5 liters. Go back, set up camp. Today I've noticed a lot of strawberries with blooms. It's only a matter of time before there'll be strawberries on trail. So looking around, there's quite a few dead trees around here. And then these trees over here have a lot of dead branches that could come down. Expecting a storm to come through tonight. So I'm actually going to go over that way. I found a spot without dead trees and limbs. I'm going to set up camp down there. 6:30. I've made camp. And getting ready to make dinner. And see about going to bed. Got up a little bit earlier than normal. Not sure if I'm actually going to get out of camp any earlier. It's about 7 o'clock now. About to break down camp. I was expecting to get rain last night, but I didn't. So pretty nice waking up dry. So I camped down there. And back on the trail. Came that way yesterday. In the next 1.5 miles, I have about 1,000 foot of elevation gain. Hopefully it won't be too steep. Time to get going. Didn't really get started much earlier than normal. It was a nice quiet start to a day. This is Cat Pen Gap. About 3/4 mile from where I made camp. I'd thought about coming this far, but decided that that uphill would feel better today than it did last night, and I think I was right. So now it's 8 o'clock, the time that I've been getting out of camp often, and I've only got about 1 mile left of uphill. So, getting close to the top, and that rain we didn't get last night just got us. So, I stopped here, met up with low gear, put the rain fly on the bag. Now I'm debating, do I want to be wet with sweat or wet with rain, and whether I get the poncho out or not. I might sit here and take a break, see if it blows over pretty quick. It blew in pretty quick. So the rain only lasted about 1.5 minutes, so I stayed underneath the bush. But the cloud that came in, still hanging around. About 1/4 mile from the top of Bluff Mountain. This is Bluff Mountain. I don't know how much of a view I would have had anyway, but this is what we've got. Got some rocks for sitting. Gonna take a quick break. Then I think it's 10 miles of mostly downhill to Hot Springs, so go that way. Don't go that way. Came up from that way. Heading down from Bluff Mountain. I think it's foggier on this side than it was on the other side. Like I said, 10 miles of mostly down. The way I understand, there's a cafe that serves steaks in Hot Springs. So I might need to get me one of them. Came down that way. Gotta go over and down. Pretty easy going so far. I don't think it's actually raining. I think it's just now that the wind's picked up, it's getting kind of drippy. Still smooth sailing though. Coming down from up there. The steps. Knees are feeling much better than they were last week. Don't need to go to the spring, still have a little bit of water. Heading down this way. Not a lot of room, but in a downpour it'd be all right. All right, so it's raining for real now. Well, I'm already so damp, I don't see much point in stopping and getting out the poncho. So I hope it just blows over. So it's kind of been getting a little bit rainier. Makes sense, since I'm going down and rain doesn't fall out of the top of a cloud, so still making good time. Trail hasn't gotten soupy yet, so that's pretty good. So it's been raining for about 3 hours now. Kind of wish I had gone ahead and gotten the poncho out. I'm pretty well soaked. It was a calculated risk. I'm just bad at math. Did some uphill. Can't read it, but this is Hot Springs, and we went down. I'd ask these guys if they want to be on video, but you can't see them. It's so blurry.
I want a Waffle House. Is what I want.
All right, I'm in Hot Springs. Time to eat. Still needing to figure out what I'm going to do, but I think I'm going to think better after I eat. So this is Hot Springs. Right back there is where I came onto the road off the trail. Ate at the diner. Got a little resupply. And looking to see how to get back onto the trail. Most everything was booked. Got there so early that it seemed like a waste to stay in town. So going to try to make it a little ways up trail. Hopefully can stay dry. Pants are mostly dry. Time to get back after it.